think we're live. Everyone, can you see us? Hello.
Are we live?
I think so.
Well,
Yes, we can see you. Thank you. We're still working it out a little bit.
little by little. Don't go away.
Just trying to.
Don't go away. How is everybody?
How is everyone? So great.
You are live. All good. We can hear you. I can see you. I can hear you perfectly. That's awesome. Because we're actually exercising a microphone this time around.
Yeah.
This is what we use for the live performance aspect of it, and our technology insists that we do so.
So it's all right as long as you can hear us and volume is low.
Hello there.
Volume is low.
Ute Bester.
Let's see.
That's
okay.
funny.
Volume is low.
Deconfined.
Good sound. Good. Here we are.
Hi from Finland. Hi from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
South Nashville.
You're live with very low audio. See,
okay, so
we need to.
Go turn it up here.
Well, we can try that. Yeah, I think it has to be. We have to be kind of up on it. Yeah, so we're turning it up. Great. Good to be here again. Cheers. Abuse. Well, it's all the way up. Okay, we're hoping this works for you. Yeah. Closer to the mic is better. Thank you. I know that has to be true.
Okay, pretty loud.
It's pretty loud now. Oh my God. Okay, so I'll hold it away. It's working.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we're going to run with this.
It's very sweet for us to be doing this with you.
Yeah. Different way of doing it this time around, but I think we're getting better.
Yeah,
That's great. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Good.
So I'm going to play a little bit later on. And, once again, hope everybody's safe and well out there and taking care of themselves. Kelly and I go to the grocery store once in a while. That's about it.
Yep.
But recently actually done a little bit of socializing.
Yeah, what'd you do? You hung out with
well, and even we.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
But you talk about yesterday with or
was that yesterday?
Friday with
day before
Vince
yesterday. Yeah, Friday. Yes, indeed. Have you posted any of that yet?
No.
Okay. Because Vince Gill and I got together over at 3rd and Lindsley, which is one of the main kind of dinner club. Time Jumpers play there every Monday night. It's one of the better venues in town. And they have a great big back room back there. And Phil Bradbury, who's making the Little Walter amplifiers, as you see one of them in the background there, and his buddy Bill, we met up, the four of us over there. And, we socially distanced. Nobody shook hands or hugged or anything, but none of us wore a mask. I think actually Vince put one on his head and under his ears for a while. He's a very funny, cool guy. And we had one guitar between us, passed it between us, and we tested out some of Phil's amplifiers and speakers and speaker configurations with the different amplifiers. Tried about 4 or 5 different speakers and 3 different amplifiers. And he's just making wonderful stuff. Vince uses his stuff exclusively now, as does Paul Franklin, the great steel player, and quite a few others. And I am moving towards it. Since developing this relationship with Phil, I haven't really had the opportunity, since, we've started sequestering pretty much right after he and I hooked up and got some amps going. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually booked to play 3rd and Lindsley in June, but I don't know if they're really going to be open by then yet.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
it was a big outing. He was gone for like 4 hours. It was a big deal. It's like,
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
it was a lot of fun.
It was, yeah. So
Rick Wheeler dropped a guitar by that he'd been hanging on to for me for a while, and he also brought along the original plate to my '57 Strat that I sold to Vince Gill. He had meant to get it to him years ago, and so he delivered it on Friday. So I was happy to be able to pass that along to Vince. He bought that Strat that you see me play. In particular, you know, with Miles Davis, that's where there's video of that. I used to use that '57 Strat. I had Seymour Duncan rails in the treble and middle positions, and the Live at Montreux. If you've never seen the Miles Live at Montreux, it's a very proud moment for me in my life and career to be at the Montreux Jazz Festival with Miles Davis, and he's just featuring the heck out of me. And if you can see the whole show, it's worth it. Later on, George Duke sits in, David Sanborn sits in. It's a long show, but the beginning of it in particular, like the first half an hour, is just really wonderful. I'm proud.
yeah, super great. Check it out if you can. Just really, really fun to watch. Yeah.
So shall we answer some questions?
Yeah, we can start at the top here.
Is that the top?
Yep, that's the stop. That's the top. Tor Erik Vardal.
Yep, Tor Erik Vardal. We meet again, Tor. One of my favorite guitar solos of all time is "O Virginia." So good, feels like part of the composition. Can you talk about how you approach solos in the studio, improv or composing? That's a very good question, and that solo, because it's a strange series of chords to play through. So, you know, I did indeed, you know, begin by improvising, but right away, that opening phrase with the octaves, da-da-da-da-oh, you know, that I kept playing it until I got it as close to right as I could, and the rest of the solo sort of evolved out of that. And there are 3 solos over the course of my entire career that I played just like the record. That's one of them. Whenever we play that song live, I played that solo. Same thing with Rose of Sharon, the guitar solo on there. That's my favorite recorded guitar solo of all time, and it was one take. It was entirely improvised. It was a composition, spontaneous composition. So whenever we play that song live, I play that solo. And there was another, a long time ago, there was a song called Deaf, Dumb, and Blind. And that solo also was like, just felt like a composition. And I might even have kind of composed it, you know, as I went over several takes. But it just became the song. But most of my solo work in the studio is improvised. And I developed this approach where I would play until I felt it kind of broke down. I didn't like the direction that I went. Stop right there, go back just a little bit, and pick it up, rather than starting all over again, and then starting all over again, which is what I used to do all the time. And man, it's really, you know, it's not going to work out. Generally, you're just going to be trying, you know, to do something that you already did. So I've kind of liked this approach where I play until I feel it breaks down, stop, you know, kind of listen, find out where to get in, and then pick it up. So it becomes a composition, you know, and that's the way I like to work now. Good question. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Tor Erik, I love that solo too. Thank you, sir. Hi, Robben. I was pleasantly surprised to find out you are a fan of Radiohead, one of my favorite bands. Do you have a particular favorite track and why? Well, I'll tell you the thing that really got me initially was someone gave me a live performance, and it was a cassette of a live maybe it was a CD, seems to me it was a cassette. I don't remember now for sure. But it was a live performance of Radiohead, and it opened with that song called, well, I'm not quite sure the title, but it's I'm a Reasonable Man, Get Off My Case. That song. Like, right away, I was absolutely engrossed, because the bass line was nothing like a traditional bass line. It was like a melody, that continued to repeat. And it was long, kind of a long, not super long, but at least 4 bars of a composed bass line that, instead of 1 or 2 bars of a vampy thing. And I loved that. And the whole atmosphere of the thing was just fantastic. And I loved the attitude and the vocal and just that whole thing. I'm a reasonable man, get off my case. I thought that's just a great thing to say, It's like, hey, I'm cool, so don't mess with me, It's great. Very insightful, So that really got me kind of hooked on their creativity, And it's not something that I can listen to a lot because it is so out there. And, I listen to things that can influence what I do. I can enjoy other things for a minute, but the things that I really, will listen to the most are things that I feel like, okay, that I can use some of that, And Radiohead's kind of a little out there, It's like it can't really influence me in a way because I'm just sort of not that person. I'm not that of that ilk. I'm going to stop right there. Namaste from Nepal. Namaste. Thank you again. Which one?
Oh, I was just looking at the next one up here.
Would you ever consider doing a Fender Signature Robben Ford model Telecaster? I'm moving away from the Tele. So it might have happened at one time, and we actually looked at it at one time. And I'm not sure what happened to it. I was working with the Fender Custom Shop over there, and I think Dan Smith, who was really the original guy at Fender to kind of, really pioneer that. We tried, but somehow it just never quite developed. And it might have been because I got a little tired of what they were doing with the original Robben Ford Signature model. I just never felt great about the truss rods in those guitars, and I heard complaints, and it made me feel bad. And so maybe because I started moving away from that, somehow the Telecaster thing never really worked out. So it's very doubtful. It would be a lot more likely for me to do something with Gibson at this point. The Les Paul is the thing I keep trying to dial in, like the perfect Les Paul for me, and I still haven't found it. I'm still working on it. But just the music that I'm playing, the Epiphone's the thing that I'm playing the most. Interestingly enough, mini humbuckers, kind of somewhere between the Les Paul and the Telecaster. What else we got? Regards from Stockholm. Alan, thank you.
Yeah,
Belgium?
Yeah, Belgium.
Yeah, Tom from
Sweet.
Belgium. Hello from Newport. Koha Slim.
Cool name.
Steve Ogden. Thanks so much for these live lessons. I love the Blue Line albums. What are your thoughts when you think about the music you make back in those years? It is, I'm proud of what we did. I mean, every one of those records was different from the other. Each was different from the other. There was, some real creativity. It was the period where my songwriting was really developing in particular. By the third album, which is a Handful of Blues, the songwriting was getting better, I think. And then that was sort of the end of the band, and I was sort of wasted from all of that. I wrote everything, arranged everything. I mean, it really was, I did so much work with that group. I was burnt out, and I didn't want to write any more words. And so I took a break, and the next thing I did was Tiger Walk, which was an entirely instrumental album, and all a bit kind of Miles Davis influenced, and a very strong rhythm section. Not that the other guys weren't strong rhythm section, but uh, you know, more like rock R&B, you know. And that was a blast for me. And so I had to take a break, you know, from writing songs. And then I came back with Supernatural, and that actually was, I felt, a real breakthrough. And kind of since then, everything's continued to evolve, you know, so I'm happy to report. But the Blue Line was a great period, you know, it really was. That was a unique band, and for me, it was the band that followed in the footsteps of the Paul Butterfield, Mike Bloomfield line, you know, that I came out of, and the bassist Roscoe Beck also came out of that, you know, tradition. Independently, me in California, him in Texas. So he had that kind of thinking too, you know. And Tom Breckline was just an incredibly great drummer for that band. Like, wow, nobody could have done what he did with that group, in my opinion. Good period.
You're thinking about doing another instrumental on your next record.
Yes, this came up. Where did this come up?
What?
This came up just very recently. Maybe it was Jeff McErlane's show.
Oh, you mean yesterday?
Somebody was talking about Tiger Walk. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I think that my next recording, pretty sure, is going to be an instrumental record. Very guitar oriented and very direct and real upfront guitar. Even more so than Tiger Walk was.
It's going to be good. I already can feel it.
Yeah, I feel it too, and I haven't even written it yet. So, what else we got?
So we've got just all kinds of Berlin calling. Mark, I love Berlin personally. It's almost my favorite city.
I think it is your favorite city.
I love Berlin. So hi from hi.
Were we there together?
Nope, never been.
We've not
you
been.
Don't want
Oh,
to
it was
go to
Hamburg.
Berlin. Yeah, Hamburg. So one of my favorite tracks. So
hi from St. Petersburg, Florida. Keith,
Yeah.
What's that?
Jonathan
Hanks.
Favorite
I think I know
tracks
Jonathan
of
Hanks.
yours?
Hi, Robin. One of my favorite tracks of yours is When I Cry Today. He says cried, but it's cry, When I Cry Today. I think I'm correct in saying you never played this live. Any reason why? I played it live just a little bit, like a few times, but the main reason was it's tuned down a half step, and, you know, carrying a half step down guitar, you know, in my world with rarely a guitar tech who's able to really handle this shit for me, you know, like tuning down, tuning back up, you know, for a song. That was one reason. And also a lot of work to play for me. Rocking that hard and playing and singing at the same time is a lot of work, man. And I just can't do that kind of work anymore for sure now. But it was just a lot of work. There are a few songs that I couldn't play live just because it was too much, you know, between the guitar part and singing and like, oh, you know, not really my bag to sing. I can play it, but I can't sing it. That's how I felt. Hi, Robin and Kelly from New York City. Hope all is well and you're staying safe. Could you please talk about your experience with Greg Allman? Saw you at the BB King's in January '04, I believe. It was a great show. Well, thank you. And, you know, I felt that was a really good collaboration, you know, with Greg. For me, the only other thing I'd done anything like that was Phil Lesh in 2000, Phil Lesh and Friends, which was, you know, an improvising rock band, you know, rock R&B, and certainly Greg's case, Grateful Dead, you know, and Phil Lesh's case. So it's not really my background, you know. I'm much more of a blues, rhythm and blues, and jazz. So it was cool. I really liked doing it. I liked the music. I liked the songs. It was a great band. Struggled a little bit with one of the guys in the group, which made it kind of uncomfortable. It was unfortunate. But it was great, and something I could have done a little bit more of, but when Greg started to tour again, I had another record to do, and so I had to bail. I couldn't do it. And you know, I
Is that better?
was our mic muted there, and are we back?
Let's hope so. Let's check on the bottom.
Sound just went off. Are we
Okay,
back yet?
We're back. Are we back, everyone?
You are
You're
back.
back.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. This is so cool.
See, we didn't do that.
I don't know who did that.
This thing did
The
that.
computer did it. We were just sitting here just doing our own thing. I mean, what is up?
You're going back.
I'm just going back to trying to go back.
El Viejo, Argentina. Too quiet now?
No,
It
I think this was
works.
before. This
Okay.
was, yeah, I went up.
We've
so
been around the world here
yeah,
with this
yeah,
thing.
we're-
Sorry, people.
We're going to get a moderator, right?
Oh.
Maybe next time.
I don't know what that'll do.
And sort
through
of help
this.
us like through this. But it's very sweet, you know.
Okay.
Let's see.
Where
Are you,
is
how about this one?
Oh, let me answer this one because I'm on it.
Which one?
Could I say anything about where the Sakashta, New Paul, is
Oh.
these days? That was used on the Truth album. Yeah. Taku Sakashta, who built that model that's on the cover of my Truth album, and I used it a ton for about 4 years. I passed that guitar along to Rick Wheeler, my guitar, well, more than guitar tech, tour manager, front of house. Rick Wheeler, some of you may know his name. He's been with me and Larry Carlton for many years, but he's now, he works with Sam Bush all the time, Rodney Crowell. He's very in demand. Tour manager, front of house guy. Rick loved the guitar, and I was not using it, so I passed it along to Rick, and it's in. So it's in good hands and
You
good
just gave it to
and
him?
loving hands. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a good friend.
If I
It's
needed
like your
it,
best
I could
friend.
get it,
I'd
but
say.
I'd always give it back.
Yeah. That's so sweet.
You had one.
Let's see. Oh, look, little one.
Little Walter Tube amps. We had a great time over at Third and Lindsley with you and Vince. Learned so much from you and Vince.
Love
Phil,
you guys.
Phil Bradbury.
Thank you,
from
Phil.
Little Walter amps.
Very sweet. Aw,
He
people
does a
are-
live broadcast. He'll be doing it today too. Phil Bradbury at Little Walter Amplifiers.
Yeah.
I think 4 o'clock. I don't know if you're doing it today, Phil. Maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's 4 o'clock Eastern or Central. Just go to Little Walter Amps and you can find it, I'm sure.
People saying so many nice things. Let's get that Bill Evans Robin Ford record out. Hey,
Mhm.
we're getting a store pretty soon on Robin's website, and we're gonna be selling that
Yeah.
along with some T-shirts I'm working on, design really cool T-shirts, and
Yeah, we're going to
I
get
don't
some
know,
cool
we're
merch
gonna get some cool merch
available
going.
for y'all.
So let's see.
Hi from Orlando. If you could go back and re-record one song from your past, what song and what would you do different now? Things come to mind. You know, not any particular one song, but there's one album that I felt that I was misdirected by my producer on the vocals, and they didn't turn out as well as they could have. And I won't talk about which one. I don't want to cast aspersions. Great person, no worries. There are a variety of things, you know, that could have been done differently. It's interesting. It's one of the sad things, you know, about making a record is that at a certain point you run out of time and money, and the vocals are always the last thing to happen. You know, they get the least amount of attention. And, you know, I need more time. And I happen to know for a fact that even great vocalists, you know, have spent weeks, months on vocals. Mariah Carey, you know what I mean? To get them just perfectly. And I'm the kind of guy that could use that kind of time. we did a little better in that way with the Purple House record. You know, we had more time, we took more time to get a lot of things right on that record. And that turned out, you know, pretty good. So hard for me to answer that question directly. And generally, most of the work that I've done, I like what happened. The Mystic Mile album, maybe. We could have taken a different approach to the Mystic Mile album in terms of mixing. But we just tried something. Did you see something else? Oh, if I may. Kyle Kandrick, Robben, can you talk about two songs I love? Breath of Me and Indianola. Boy, those are very different songs from each other. Breath of Me, I really like that song, and that turned out really well too, the recording. And we had ZZ Ward was my guest, and I wrote it as a duet for her and me. She actually wrote the first verse that she sings, but I wrote all the rest of the song. And yeah, that was intentionally written as a duet for her and me. And thank you. You know, it's something that I think, you know, obviously I couldn't really perform live because it really is best as a duet. And thank you. Indianola was an instrumental tribute to B.B. King. Just a rocker, kind of looking for something to rock. You know, when you're writing a record, there's a tendency to, you know, kind of be gauging the energy, you know, and it's like, you know, okay, we've done plenty of this, now we need to bump something up a little bit, you know. It's like a painting or something, you know. You feel the need, we need a lift here, we need to cool it out here. And sometimes songs are written for that reason. And Indianola being an instrumental, specifically, you know, yeah, I wanted to do something like that. But it has stuck with the band for so long because it's one of the only things we do with that kind of energy, you know. And so it's been, you know, something that people always dig it because it rocks out. So that was the intention, to rock out, you know.
What is this? I like this one.
What does it say, babe?
Do you find that there's more energy in the solo if you improvise it? From Bob Dragish.
Always, you know, and that's why I do it. It's like recording live in a studio with a band, and instead of like, okay, we track drums, now we track bass, now we track, you know. Bands do that, man. I won't name names there either, but yeah, you know. And again, that's why working the way I was talking about earlier, about how I, you know, record in the studio. You know, I start playing, and then when it breaks down, I pick it up there. So I'm starting, you know, with, you know, already something has, you know, informed me of my direction. And so then I pick it up from there and go until it breaks down, stop, pick it up from there and go. So it's still live, you know. It's like it was inspired by that, but it's still fresh right now, you know. So I like to keep it like that. I like to keep the energy absolutely live. And it's very rare that I compose a solo, which we spoke about a little bit earlier also, you know. A lot of people do. That's the way they play. And to me, I equate that with like classical music, you know. It's like someone like Eric Johnson, his solos are constructed, and he plays them the same way every time. And so he's like a composer, you know, who happens to have incredible touch and feel, you know, and really understand the electric guitar and how to make it talk, you know. So yeah, admire the hell out of him as a guitar player. So, but yes, you know, I like being a little bit scared. It's good to be a little bit scared when you're playing.
Not afraid to be a fool.
Not afraid to be a fool. This is our slogan over here, and that's why we're here. That's not why we're here, but we exercise that.
Here's a good one. Did Miss
Okay.
Kelly inspire high heels and throwing things, asking
No,
for a
she
friend?
did not. No, no. And it's not even about me. That song is really just kind of it's an interesting composition. Like on that record, there were things, they weren't personal experiences for me, but it's one of the records for me where I felt like, okay, I can write about anything now. I mean, not I'm so great that I can write about anything now, but I've already kind of worked that chop of like, okay, I'm going to come from direct experience, into actually being able to, incorporate or start something, from an idea point of view, and then let my own experience inform that story. That's just a story. High heels and throwing things. That was a title. Started as a title. I thought it was funny, and then heard. Oh no, I think it was like heard him coughing up kerosene. Yeah, to high heels and throwing things. I think that all kind of came at one time. Good song. Thanks for mentioning. Should we perform a little bit?
Yeah, let's try this out and see if we
Okay.
can pull it off. So
Mhm.
give us a minute, and we are not going to
So we're gonna
unplug
move some
anything.
stuff.
We're just going to move it around. Here,
Well,
here, you hold
can I
it.
unplug the computer like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Okay.
So I'll just bring this right over. Could you put the red
Yep.
stool up there, babe?
Yep.
And I'll
Mhm.
drop this on top of it. Okay.
There we go. We've got our performance space.
So you got set shop.
Yep. Shot.
We're not changing a thing with the mic and audio. This is on already.
This we changed
Well, that's just the headphone mix.
Oh, okay.
Did anything change here?
No.
Okay, then it should be all right.
Let's see if you guys can hear. We'll just check in. Can you guys hear? Can everyone hear?
Watch,
Sounds awesome.
watch your head when you back away,
Here
babe.
it comes.
It's right behind you. Okay, so Kelly hates the kitchen. I don't know why. I think it's cool. So which way? We want to go this way. All right. So let me ask. Sounds good? Sounds great. No, it needs to be up where my mouth is. So I fooled around with a few things this morning, trying to figure out what to play. And I came up with Ain't Drinking Beer No More. And I might mess up some of the words. I'm sorry. I tried to get it together this morning. Let's see. The first line is, I've had a thing for the hop. I've had a thing for the hop. Think it might have to stop. Ain't drinking beer no more. Who'd think the work of monks could lead to so many drunks? Ain't drinking beer no more. That mute hit again. I'm going back to shore. Ain't drinking beer no more. The woman I call my queen is lately a little bit mean. Ain't drinking beer no more. She used to call me my sweet. Now she just says, hey, meat. Ain't drinking beer no more. You might have been alright in my youth, but she's telling me the bitter truth. It's time I close that door. Ain't drinking beer no more. I'll do what's best for me and turn to herbal tea. Say goodbye to that fuzzy glow. Oh no, go to church on Sunday, stop walking right on Monday. To feel like a fighter, walk a whole lot lighter. Ain't drinking beer no more. Pass on the meat and 3, eat just the fruit of the sea. Ain't drinking beer no more. I used to dress myself in style and run a 7-minute mile. Now I've become a boy. Ain't drinking beer no more. I'm driving past the store. Ain't drinking beer no more. Mike keeps muting all by itself. Oh, Lordy Lord. Oh, Lordy Lord. It hurts me so bad for us to part. Someday, baby, ain't gonna worry my life anymore. You're on my mind every place I go, and how much I'll miss you, you'll never know. Someday, baby, ain't gonna worry my life anymore. Do you remember drinking all of that whiskey, talking out of your head. Someday, baby, ain't gonna worry my life anymore. Do you remember lying on my bed, drinking all of that whiskey, talking out of your head? Someday, baby, ain't gonna now goodbye, baby. I'm leaving you now. Don't make no difference. Never meant me no good anyhow. One day, baby, ain't gonna worry my life anymore. Little improvisation there. Can we get the top of my head not cut off anymore? Okay, I can do that. Sorry, people, that microphone keeps cutting out on us for some reason. Technological BS. What? stop there.
Loving it, baby. People loving it. Great.
Don't let that microphone unmute
No, thank you so much.
or mute.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
We're nearly there. So irritating.
Now we have to use the mic. But,
Chicken butt.
but a lot of people were saying that it's much better sound.
Than in the past.
We're using this program called StreamYard, and except for the fact that it keeps muting on its
Yeah,
own.
what's up with that? It says, it appears your microphone has muted. So
Yeah,
why?
Yeah, it just mutes.
That's their
someone-
problem.
Someone just said that they think that the software,
Can you have Kelly post the tab for that? The tab for what?
what you just played.
There's none existent. I'll tell you what though, I'm going to show you that chord.
By the way, you can't see them, but we're using the little Walter amps over there. Guys?
Yeah, it's a 15-inch cabinet with a 50-watt head.
Yeah,
Sounds great.
sounding fantastic.
And I can tell you that I very specifically got that 15 because cabinet 15-inch speaker in there. I'm gonna put this over here.
Okay.
So
This is kind of fun.
so
You have to come closer.
yeah. How about them Dodgers?
So sweet,
So, trying to get my line of thought going here. Talking about the cabinet. So I know that I've mentioned the little Walter amps, like one of the main reasons why I'm working with Phil is to try to get my volume down. And I'm just really enjoying this guitar a lot. And so it sounds great through the Dumble and the 2x12 cabinet, but it's just big and loud. So I was trying to find something where I could get my volume down, and hoping that the speaker could give me some of the things that would go away, with the 2x12 being gone. So single 12, it definitely narrows the spectrum, So I'm experimenting with the 15, and again, particularly with this guitar. But I want to show you them chords. You need to, you need to point it more that way. Nope, the other way. Yeah. And down toward me a little bit. God dang it. Here we go. All right, right there. We're just going to go with this.
Yep.
So the chord I'm playing here is, there's an A there, right? On the low E. The A string is muted. There's an F sharp on the D string. G string is open, and a C sharp on the B string. So if I just played the open string, it would work. The open A. So it's like an A7 with a sixth in it. That's what this chord is. And so what I'm doing is playing it down a half step, and you still get that open G. And then up to A. First thing I play here, this is a song from the new Bill Evans record, and some of you may have heard it. We've got clips of it on Instagram, and it's also on my Robben Ford Guitar Dojo as a freebie in there. So, but the first chord is this B minor, right? But just this over E. So it's like B minor over E. Like that. I just thought that was great. First one is like a major 7 chord. It's like A flat major 7, major 6, and then A flat 7 with the 13th in it. So anyway, pretty cool, those chords there. And something else that I've talked about a little bit with you, I really like one chord moving around a lot. Like use the one chord voicing and move it. You know, like all minor chords. Like particularly on this new record with Bill Evans, like there's quite a bit of writing like that where I just move minor 7 chords around. You know, all minor 7 chords. And so in this, I'm playing that. And so I'm just this 6th chord. And then that didn't make me feel right. Major, D major. And then I move minor 7 chords.
No.
With the G in the root. What's that, babe?
I think they were commenting that they can't hear your volume, but you're not plugged into the amp. That's
Nah, I'm sorry, I'm not plugged in. I was hoping that it would work out all right, but not with this microphone. Anyway, we're going to get that record out there for you. The song's called The Little Boxer, and it's
so great.
Inspired by and dedicated to Miles Davis. Miles is the little boxer. Many of you must know that, he was very into boxing, studied boxing and everything, but it influenced his playing, trust me. I would be on the bandstand with him, and he'd just come over and he'd just play 2 notes, like, and he'd stamp his foot, sort of. And it was like a knockout punch, That's what he was thinking. You should think like this. You should think about this and think like this. Think differently. Don't think. Be inspired, just think differently, Like, I know I've talked about this a lot over the years, but one of the reasons why I sound a little bit different from other people is because I didn't listen to guitar players. After about age 22 or 3, I was only listening to horn players, a little bit of guitar. And of course, I like to visit my old heroes too, And Albert Collins became an influence after a while. Somehow, this thing returned, But it's like, I listen to horn players. And so that makes you play differently. And, Miles Davis would do 2 notes, and he would do it as a knockout punch. His intention was a knockout punch. So just take that energy and do whatever a knockout punch would be for you. If you're going to knock somebody out with 2 notes, what would you play and how would you play it? What would be in your body when you threw that knockout punch? You wouldn't be fooling around. So that's how you'd play. You're not fooling around.
No fooling around.
No fooling around.
No fooling around here.
Cheers from Venezuela, Paulo Soto. What do you think is the common factor to a good feel based on your experience and all of the great musicians you've shared with? I don't know, like whatever leads to, meaning, I guess, striking
like
a groove?
A moment, like you got it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is the common factor to a good feel? Well, I think it's that you are extremely excited by a feel. Something feels good to you. You like that feel, So you're feeling it. And so you take that feeling and you send it through your arms and hands to the instrument, out the amplifier, and rock the planet.
Oh yeah.
You're it. You're the soul. You know, I mean, it's not true. Playing with other people, you know, that's the best. But they're also playing with you. So what you're playing is just as important as what anyone else is playing. So you're inspiring them as much as they're inspiring you. Somebody lays down a badass, drum feel, then you should lay, like you should be of the same intention, same energy. Seriously, I think what holds a lot of people back is they don't know how to get the energy going, You don't have to play a lot. You just have to really play it, with all you've got. And I've used this analogy that I got out of a book called Zen Guitar. And one of the practices they talk about is shouting at the waves. So you stand in front of the ocean and you shout at the waves, So when you're playing the guitar, you're shouting at the waves. Get it up, get that energy. It's there. Of course it is, and just get that energy up and into what you're doing, even if what you're doing is terrible. You have to make mistakes and just be terrible for a little bit. So what? Nobody gets hurt. And so what you're doing is you're learning to tap the energy. This is an exercise separate from playing the guitar in any particular way. It's an exercise in tapping the energy, I used to go into my bedroom, plug in my electric guitar, crank the amp up on 10, get in front of the mirror, and just go crazy, God bless my parents, God knows what it sounded like. I can't even think. I was 13,
So cute.
So, that's where your feel comes from, man, is through challenging the energy and identifying a groove. Like, you boom, beat it. Oh, man, you're just like, yeah. I call it Bill Cosby, But anyway, and you channel that through your instrument. One more question.
How about this one? This is a good one. Theo.
Robben, from Theo. Robben, can you talk about playing with Tos Panos? The two of you are unbelievably together. Well, thank you so much. And Tos is a brother from another mother. I like to say he's been just about my closest personal musical friend. Like I've spent more valuable music time with him than any other person I know, man. Beyond the playing, after the playing, we'd go back to the hotel and we'd be listening to music, and having a drink, and smoking cigarettes on a balcony in France. We did all kinds of hanging like that, and we had plenty of music that we both liked, as much. And he liked even more music than I. He's much more broad-minded, He loves songs. But Tos grew up playing, Greek music with Greek folk musicians, in dance halls and joints. In San Diego is where he grew up. And then when he moved to LA, he started playing with local, real, I don't know quite how to put it, but ghetto, type blues musicians, the guys who were still playing real blues, in Los Angeles, who, real McCoy, not famous, but the real McCoy, playing it in the real way. So Tos learned how to play the blues, with people. And so, he's just got that understanding. He understands the folk thing, the ethnic thing. He loves jazz. He loves to improvise. He can play any style of music. And he's just wonderful. Should we do one more, babe?
Yeah, we need to address this one. Talk about playing with the great Jeff Mackerlane. That's a good way to end.
Talk about playing with the great Jeff Mackerlane. Well, indeed, I met Jeff, I think, before but we started to get to know each other when I did my first course with True Fire. Jeff already had a strong relationship with them, and he came in to help, shepherd me through my first course with True Fire. And since then, we've become very good friends. We started doing guitar camps together, and I produced his record called Now for my label 13J, and we've toured together a couple of times. And, a great guitar player, a great hang, a great friend, and
Super good friend and super helpful helping us do this.
Yeah. And with all that help, this is still going on.
No, it's much
Not his
better.
fault.
Much better.
But anyway, yeah. Jeff's our very good friend, and as I say, a great player. I was really happy to produce his record, and hopefully there will be more in the future.
Yeah, that'd be great. We love Jeff.
Charles Desmond says, yes, Tossin, Travis, and Robben, so good together. Yeah, Travis Carlton, Larry Carlton's son on bass. That trio, that's one of those bands, that we had about a good year and a half together of really getting along well, really playing together well. And, things change, man. So my theory is that a band should last no longer than 3 years. Y'all should just go your separate ways after 3 years. You might revisit each other, but you need to do something different. Because it just starts to get weird. Always. Every band ever that I've ever been in starts to get weird. And so, move on. But in any case, we had a great trip together, that trio. Particularly, there were 3 nights at the Blue Note in Tokyo that Rick Wheeler shot from the balcony. Just one camera, so it's not zeroing in on anything particular. I was so proud of that group, man. Yeah, we were playing blues, improvising, grooving. That's a blast. Hard to find and doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
shall we call it, baby?
I think so. I'm sort of curious. I'm wondering if 2 o'clock is a good time for everyone. Because I think that there in the beginning, when we were doing 11 o'clock,
Yeah.
there was. I think it's late for a lot of people around in other parts of the world. So I don't know.
We could do 11 o'clock.
We're kind of thinking about maybe changing the time, but we'll keep you updated on that. And anywhere you want to comment on that would be great.
Somebody just asked about the Cherry 335 I played on the Rock Palace album. That was a 66 335, and I was never really comfortable with it. I didn't love the pickups, and it was something that I thought I could bring around to, really working for me, but it just didn't work out. And I've had a couple of other 335s, and okay. I guess that's not what's up, and somehow, I've come around to the Epiphone, which is the closest thing to the 335. Basically, it's a 335 with, the mini humbuckers. So that guitar was traded or sold to buy another 335, which was sold to buy a Les Paul, which was traded or sold. So, the guitar journey has gone on and on and on and on and on. I wish it would end, but I don't have a 59 Les Paul yet, so.
Ah, that's what you're looking for.
Wow. 58, 57.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Sweet. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us from around the world and all of your love. And it's just great for us to spend this time with you,
Mm-hmm.
And we look forward to it too. It's great. It's beautiful. So thank you so much.
Yes, and what about that guy? He was so sad that we didn't say his name, but we didn't see his post, or we definitely would have done it.
Yeah.
If you're still out there, I hope you're not mad at us.
Yeah.
We would have done it.
It's hard for us to see everything, but we're doing our best, for sure.
Somebody says, have Gibson Les Paul. What was that? We'll build one.
Where's that?
I just jumped away. Have Gibson build you a 59 Les Paul. Oh, well, it won't be 59, my friend. I'm sorry.
That wouldn't work out.
They can't build time. But
Thank
you.
you.
All right, everybody.
Thank you so much. Take it easy. Stay safe.
We're going to keep honing it.
Keep it up. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.